Hi, this is Matt from the MrpTech podcast. And this video today is for anyone who's interested in trying Linux for the very first time. We're going to use Ubuntu 16.04, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to go to www.ubuntu.com, and you need to go to the download section and download Ubuntu 16.04 LTS. That's the long-term support. If you download anything else, that is a developer edition, and we suggest not to do that. So you're going to click the download button, and then you're going to see an option to make a donation. You do not need to do that. Just go down and click Not Now. The download should start, and in this case, we've already downloaded, so we are not going to download this file, and we're going to move ahead. A few other things that you might need to do if you want to try to download or install Ubuntu on hardware, you're going to need Etcher. You can find that at www.etcher.io, and you can download it for Windows, Mac, or Linux. And you're going to also need an 8 gigabyte USB drive as well. And if you don't want to install it on hardware, you can actually virtualize it in a virtual machine, sort of a computer in a computer. And you're going to go to www.virtualbox.org, and you're going to download the latest version of VirtualBox for Windows, Mac, or Linux. And in this case, as long as you have a nice, powerful computer of some kind, you should be able to virtualize Ubuntu. Now that we've got all of those installed, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to flash a USB drive so you can boot up into Ubuntu. So you're going to open Etcher, and the first thing you're going to do is you're going to select the ISO file. Okay, you're going to select the disk image. And in this case, mine was downloaded to the downloads folder. So as I choose that folder, then I'm going to make sure I choose Ubuntu 16.04 and .iso. Then I'm going to open that up. And my flash drive was automatically detected in this case. So if you wanted to select the flash drive, you could go to change and then flash your drive, whatever drive you want to choose. That is for installing Ubuntu on actual computers. What we're going to do though is we're going to set up Ubuntu and VirtualBox. Now, I've got VirtualBox open. I'm going to click New, and I'm going to type in Ubuntu 16.04.1, and that is automatically detected. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select how much RAM I want to allocate, and be careful not to go into the red or orange area because your computer, your host system, needs some RAM too. And I'm going to select 8 gigs of RAM, and I'm just going to select the default selections here as far as virtual disk images and that sort of thing. And I'm going to dynamically allocate the files for VirtualBox. Then I'm going to pick where I want my files saved on my computer, and you can name it Ubuntu 16.04 if you wanted to do that. And then select how big you want that file to be. In this case, I'm going to allocate 50 gigs for this virtual operating system. Next, I have to go into settings and just set a couple of things up here so that it works correctly. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go and I'm going to make sure my boot options are in order. I want my optical drive to boot first and the hard drive to boot second. Then I'm going to go to processor, and I'm going to bump this up just a little bit to give it a little bit more power in the virtual machine itself. Next, I'm going to go to display and select my video memory and move it all the way up to the top. And I want to make sure that I enable 3D acceleration. That's very important. So make sure that's enabled. Next, going to storage, I'm going to click on empty. And I'm going to go over to this little CD icon over here, click on that, and open a virtual disk image, and pick that file that I downloaded again before, the Ubuntu 16.04 ISO. And I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to make sure live CD DVD is ticked off. Now I'm ready to boot into Ubuntu, and I'm just going to go over and I'm going to click on the Start button. Now as it boots up, it is going to, I'm going to set this into full screen so that you get to see the full effect of a virtual machine. And it's going to boot into a live environment. Now we haven't installed Ubuntu yet, and we're getting close to doing that. Now virtual machines, they'll be a little less powerful than actual hardware, but they still have some very good functions as well. A lot of times I'll use them for online banking. It tends to be a little bit more secure. So now what you're going to do is you're going to pick your language, and then you have two options. You can either try Ubuntu or you can install Ubuntu. And if you install Ubuntu, what you have is you know what you're doing and you want to start the install right away. In this case, we're trying Ubuntu for the first time, and we're going to see what it's like without making any changes. So I'm going to click Try Ubuntu, and it's going to bring me right into the Ubuntu Desktop. It's known as the Unity Desktop. It's Ubuntu's customized desktop environment. And with this desktop environment, we have a fully functional operating system that has software installed. Over here is the dock, and we have our heads-up display or our dash. And we have things like Thunderbird installed for email. We have a music player, Rhythmbox music player, and all sorts of free software. What's great about Ubuntu is it's 100% free, and it has great free software installed on it. It's got a file manager so I can access all of my files, and things like LibreOffice Suite. Next up, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start the install process. I'm going to double click on Install Ubuntu, and this is going to take me to the same menus as it would have if I clicked it at the very beginning. It's going to start the install process. So I'm going to select my language, and then I'm going to click Continue. And here it's going to ask me to download the updates. I will select that to download all updates. And the third-party software is for watching videos, having sound, listening to music. It's all proprietary software drivers, and I'm going to click that because I want to listen to audio and video. I'm going to click Continue. Next up, you're going to see a choice if I want to install Windows side by side with Ubuntu, and that sets up a dual boot environment. Or I have the option to erase everything on the hard drive and start with only Ubuntu. And that is if you want to just have Ubuntu by itself. The next thing underneath is ask you if you want to encrypt the new Ubuntu installation, and that's going to give you more security. And you're going to have to type in a password at the very second you turn on your computer. You can also set up logical volume management, and that helps for taking snapshots and better partitioning your drive. And if you're an expert, you can actually do something else. You can set up the partitions on your hard drive the way that you want to, and that may be a little different from the default install. But we're going to keep it simple. We're going to go back, and I'm going to just erase everything here because I'm on a virtual machine, and I'm going to continue to install. If you're installing on your normal drive, then you may want to back up your files. Here, it just gives me the partitions that it's going to set up on my drive. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to set up my time zone. I'm on the East Coast. I'm going to click Continue. And I'm also going to set up my keyboard. This was automatically detected, but if I had a different keyboard layout, I could type in this little menu here and or detect the keyboard layout by pressing that button. And I'm going to continue. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to type in my name, Matt. I'm going to give my computer name, MrpTech. Username, I'm going to keep Matt. And my super secret password, I'm going to type in and click Continue. Now, if you want to log in automatically, you can do that, but I suggest that you have a password set up so that your computer is more secure. You can also encrypt your home folder, but we're not going to do that right now. Now the install process begins, and I'm going to jump ahead to the final product. And now that the installation has completed, I am going to restart my computer and make sure to remove your flash drive if you're on a real computer. And in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to shut down the computer and change a couple more settings in VirtualBox. Make sure to remove your USB drive if you're on your computer. And in VirtualBox, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to settings, and I'm going to make sure to go to storage and then live CD. Make sure that's unchecked. And I'm going to click on the CD icon and make sure to remove the disk as well. I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to restart my Ubuntu install. This time it should start up with Ubuntu as the way that I installed it just a few minutes ago. You're going to see some screen flashing. Then I get to enter my super secret password. As we log in, it will bring us back to the Unity desktop with all of our files and software that's pre-installed with Ubuntu, just like the live environment. gives us our keyboard shortcuts, tips and tricks to help you navigate better in Ubuntu and use all of the installed software. A fully functional Ubuntu desktop. If I go up here and I go to About This Computer, you will see that the device name is MrpTech. I have 8 gigs of RAM, and I also have a 50 gig hard drive dedicated to this virtual machine. I can also install updates anytime and just have fun using Linux and using all of the free resources that are available to anyone. I can change desktop wallpapers just like any other operating system to customize the way that Ubuntu looks. So with that said, I'm going to now turn off my computer, and I really would like to say that I thank you so much for watching my videos. I hope you're enjoying them. Please feel free to send me some comments or subscribe to all of my channels. Subscribe to the MrpTech podcast, and you can also contact me on my Facebook page or by sending me an email. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.